Coaches under pressure is the Yahoo story. There will be about 200 of these between now and September. In fact, the headline at Yahoo Sports says this: 10 football coaches under the most pressure entering the 2025 season. Meh. That's not good enough. That's too easy. It's too broad. There's no nuance to that whatsoever. Let's do this. Let's do a much, much better way of looking at those that should get fired. Okay? People that need to be whacked. And then there are those that should be fired but won't get fired. And then there's a weird third category. So the stories are the same with everybody. The pressure is it's kind of a silly thing to say. I think it's like saying on the hot seat. Shut up with that. The stories are the same. The standards are not that far off, but the faces are different. And so is the possibility of getting fired. You know, it's one thing. It's an easy thing to say, so-and-so is doing a lousy job. You got to get fired. But that's not all that practical in some cases, especially now with the economics of college football. So I think let's try this. Tell me what you think of this. There are really three categories. One, you're doing a meh job to a lousy job. You should be doing much better, but expenses will save you. So you probably don't get whacked. That's one category. Those are people that should be doing much, much better, but they can't get whacked because it's just too expensive. The second category, you're going to get whacked even if you're at one of those places where you have no chance to win. These are these people, these coaches that just, it feels good to fire them, and it's not even going to make a difference. And that's an actual category. And then the third category is really, really small. But that category is everyone is watching you because you're a rock star category, but you're not going to get fired. So here's what Yahoo Sports put out today. The names they listed, they just did this for college football. I could easily do it for pro football. You just need the right categories. I disagree with a lot of this. It says 10 college football coaches under the most pressure to win entering the 2025 season. Number one is Bill Belichick. That is a silly thing to say. That's just a silly, stupid thing to say. That's why we're going to do this better. Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. I'm not going to mention Luke Fickell of Wisconsin. You know why? You don't care. No one cares. Hugh Freeze, Auburn. Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. Billy Napier at Florida. Mike Norvell, Florida State. Sam Pittman at Arkansas. Lincoln Riley at USC. Blah, 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 blah. Those are really, really easy. That's the easy stuff to say. So let's go at it with these categories, okay? Three categories. Feel free to add and subtract however you would like. I don't know if there's another category or two. I guess take a crack at that as well. So the category, you're doing a meh to lousy job. You should be doing much better. You should probably get fired, but expenses are going to save your ass. That category. And the poster child of you're doing a lousy job, but you can't get fired because the school is so stupid, they're going to overpay you. The poster child of that is Lincoln Riley at USC. He hasn't even made a playoff game. And he likely won't make a playoff this year. He's the quarterback whisperer, and he's a 7-win guy. The only thing saving him, or should be saving him, or likely saving him, is the fact that USC, a blue blood with plenty of money, created a $90 million parachute for this underachiever. He should have been fired already. I mean, it shouldn't even be to this point. It shouldn't be the point where you say, well, we sure hope you make a playoff next year, coach. They gave him a plane and multiple houses and a $90 million buyout. So even at USC, even though every single indicator is he should be whacked, I don't think even USC can fire him because it is easily a $100 million transaction. That saves him, I think. It shouldn't. He shouldn't be there anymore. But $100 million is just too much. Brent Venables at Oklahoma is in this category. To be fair, And if you want to go conspiracy theory, you probably can and maybe should. And that is, why did Oklahoma get so screwed on the scheduling when they joined the SEC and Texas gets everything it wants? Because Texas gets everything it wants. That's why. The schedule has been brutal, true. A good year this year. I mean, you might even add a really good this year for Brent Venables and Oklahoma's 8 wins. I think it's a 6 or 7 win season again. Another beatdown by Texas, and the word will be that he's dead man walking. But here's the thing, and here's why he's in the category. And maybe by midseason, if Texas rolls them again, you could say, oh, he's dead man walking. But that's why I put him in this category. He's got a giant buyout as well. And because of the economics of today, and because of the contract that Oklahoma got into with this guy, I don't know that they find the money to get rid of him. Oh, they probably want to get rid of him. They would probably really want to get rid of him by mid-October. But I don't think the money will be there to do it. Like Lincoln Riley, I suspect he's saved by the expense. Number 3 on the list, not in any particular order, is Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. Now, I know no one cares. I got it. But I find the setup here pretty interesting. I know it's Texas Tech. Again, you don't care. But here's the thing. 7 wins should typically be fine. But I wonder what the standard is. And maybe this is uncharted territory for Tech and Tech fans, but you got a $30 million payroll for your football team by a sugar daddy oil guy. It's the stuff of legends. He's been throwing money at your program. And so the question is it Big 12 championship or bust? What is it or bust for Joey McGuire, who's not a very good coach? He's not. So if you throw that kind of money at it, isn't it reasonable to say, hey, bud, we've given you everything you've asked for. We've given you all the money you can spend. You should get a Big 12 championship. I think he's in a 50-50 category. I think if they buy him out, whack him and buy him out for anything less than an 8-win season. 8 wins on a Texas Tech resume, you think it's a good year. But I don't know if that's really fair this year. He's in weird territory. They have a money guy, a sugar daddy that would buy him out. But I don't know what the litmus test is. If they're going to spend that kind of money and you want a $30 to $40 million payroll or whatever you're going to pull off in college football, you need to do better in the Big 12 than 7 or 8 wins. Is that their standard? Mike Norvell, Florida State, they win 2 or 3 games a year ago. Economic realities have caught up with Florida State. He had better win 9 or 10. He has a big payout, so he's in this first category. So he might survive simply because he'll have a buyout as well. Brian Schottenheimer of the Cowboys makes this list for very weird reasons. Remember the category here. You are meh to lousy. You probably should get fired, but you won't get fired category. Brian Schottenheimer is on that list. He shouldn't have the job in the first place, and everybody knows it, including probably Brian Schottenheimer. But for the same reason, now listen to this. For the same reason Jerry Jones hired him is the same reason Jerry Jones won't fire him. Right? Because, see, Brian Schottenheimer follows, I would love to see the pictures of the head coaches. You know how HEB will have the employee of the month on the wall? I'd love to see the Cowboys head coaches on a wall and walk the average football fan by that wall. They'll recognize none of those guys. So Brian Schottenheimer is Dave Campo 2.0. He's hired because he's Dave Campo 2.0, and he's not fired because he's Dave Campo 2.0. You see, like almost all, the outliers are Jimmy Johnson doesn't even really count because that was Jerry Jones' first hire. Bill Parcells is the outlier. That's it. And that didn't work that well, but he's the outlier. So like all Dallas Cowboys coaches under Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer meets the important criteria. Okay, and the criteria are the exact same reasons why he hired him, And they're the same reasons why he won't fire him. He's not famous. He doesn't make any noise. In fact, their opening news conference, he sat in the corner and no one even knew who it really was. He doesn't make noise. He's easy to boss around. Okay? So he got hired for those reasons, and he'll keep his job for those reasons. I think Dallas is a 9-win team, and I think that's good enough. I mean, I'm saying all this, and then I think Dallas is probably a little bit better than most people think, and so he may get credit. But either way, it doesn't really matter. You get hired by Jerry Jones to be nondescript, and you're retained by Jerry Jones to be nondescript. The second category, okay? These are coaches that are going to get whacked, I think. These are people that are going to get fired, and in some cases, they're going to get fired even at places where there's no chance to win. They're just fired for the sake of getting fired. Sam Pittman at Arkansas. Nice country guy, no chance, he's toast. It won't matter. Hugh Freeze at Auburn. He's a jackass publicly a lot of the time. He's easy to dislike, so firing him will be easy. The thing with Auburn is unless he has a quick turnaround, unless he has a pretty glamorous turnaround, because he's so easy to dislike publicly, if they whack him, and I assume they do, and I assume he'll make it easy on him, they got to get the next one right. Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. Now, that one's interesting. In many ways, I want it to happen because he will not go away quietly, and it will be nuts. And that's kind of fun. He's a nut. He's a public buffoon, in my opinion. But he's easy to dislike as well. Here's the thing, though. I guess this is slight defense, even though I assume he's going to get fired. They're the worst team in the Big 12, and they're the worst team in the Big 12 for economic reasons. And he all but said it this week. I mean, I thought he had already made one of the most ridiculous public mistakes by telling the truth, but he stopped himself. He talked about how successful Oklahoma State had been under him for a long time, until now. And what he's implying is, we got no chance in this economic world. And the truth is, he's right. But he'll get fired anyway because he's a buffoon and a jackass. It won't solve their problem. I mean, it's not going to make a difference. Kind of like Arkansas. You're pretty much finished in this economic world. So I think Oklahoma State does fire him, and then they're lost at sea, just like they are now. Brian Daboll, the New York Giants. The Giants suck. Anybody that lets Saquon Barkley not just walk out the door. And of course, it's on a show. But you let him walk out the door, and he heads straight to a division rival who wins a Super Bowl. Whoever is around that has to be unemployed. Like you're dead man walking the minute Saquon Barkley had 200 yards rushing in a game. Okay, the minute the Eagles are holding up the trophy, you're fired. So Brian Daboll is fired. He's dead man walking. He's dead man walking already. He was dead man walking 6 months ago. The only question is when he gets fired. Like, when is it going to happen? October, November, whenever it's going to happen. Then the next question is this Bill Belichick's job? Is it Nick Saban's job? It's not Brian Daboll's. You're finished. You're finished. Kevin Stefanski belongs in this category as well. Remember, these are coaches that are going to get whacked. Kevin Stefanski coaches the Cleveland Browns. I know you don't care. It's the Cleveland Browns, and they have 5 quarterbacks under contract. What more needs to be said? The last category, now this one's weird. Don't know what to do with this. Don't know what you want to do with this category of coaches and the whole universe out there. It's a small category. And this is a category that says you're not going to get fired, but everyone is watching you because you're a rock star category. And the reactions are not going to be objective at all. I know it's a strange category, and I think you can figure out it's a small group. I think it might be a group of 2. First up is Bill Belichick at North Carolina. Under no circumstance, no matter what, No matter what his gold-digging girlfriend does or says, North Carolina will not fire him. It could be a complete... he could fall flat on his face. They could fall flat on their face, and she could act like a fool, even more foolish on television. It won't matter. The mystery with Belichick is how many games Carolina can win, and like what's a reasonable number to say that's a good job, that's a great job, that's a mediocre or lousy job. Like what is that? What's the number that defines Bill Belichick? And I don't think people know enough about that Carolina program to be able to put a definition out there. I'm not quite sure I do yet, but everybody's watching. So he's not getting fired. I don't care what she does. So what is a good year for Bill Belichick? They open against a really good TCU team with a great coach in Sonny Dykes, and I think they lose. And I think people are going to flip out. That's why I put them in this category. Because there's not many games that anyone's going to care about with North Carolina, and I think if they lose to TCU, people immediately tune out. It doesn't mean he's going to get fired. It means a lot more. It means the NFL is saying, meh, we're moving on now. Everyone will be watching. And in a weird way, if Carolina pulls off a win, right? If TCU beats Carolina, a lot of people are going to check out and say, that's it, nothing to see here. He's old. The game has passed him by. Unless his girlfriend is dancing for you, you don't really care. So, or the flip side of that is if Carolina were to beat TCU in a game that everyone is watching and everybody's paying attention to and everybody's going to be over their skis, watch out. It might just launch him. I know it sounds weird, but he needs to break through. He needs an NFL team to want him. And if he were to pull off an upset in the game that everyone is watching, he wants to be back in the NFL, it might add up. Now, I don't know about the NFL, particularly with the girlfriend baggage. I think the Giants are the most interested party, and the Cleveland Browns would be second. Beyond that, there may not be anybody in the market for Bill Belichick. And that first game for him, that first game is all anyone is going to care about. It keeps him at Carolina or it launches him into the NFL. I know it's ridiculous, but that's the way people are going to view that game. The other is obvious. Not going to get fired under any circumstance. No way, no chance. But he's a rock star and everyone overreacts. No matter what with Deion Sanders, the judgment is going to be unfair. It's going to be over your skis. You think he's the greatest ever, which I've said many times, or you're the other way. If Colorado wins 7 games, I think he's done a very good job. I think he's done a really good job, period. I do. He lost the best player of the last 30 years, Travis Hunter. He lost an excellent to great college quarterback. But people are going to overreact. And I think the USC job should be his. I mean, those connect so easily to me. Lincoln Riley has to get whacked, and Deion Sanders has to win 7. The problem is, as I said earlier, Lincoln Riley can't get whacked because he's too expensive, and I don't know if Colorado can win 7. But everyone is going to watch and react. The better question with Deion Sanders this year, next, and beyond, does anyone think he's coaching at Colorado in 3 years? I don't. I don't think you do either. But is he out altogether? Or is he at a blue blood program within 3 years? The health thing with him is weird and kind of scary. And I don't know how that factors into this. Those are the two guys that are rock stars that everyone is going to watch and everyone is going to overreact to. But whatever they do early defines maybe the next year or two of their career. All right, agree, disagree, pick those apart. Hey, Austin, Jeff Ward here, and I never thought I'd be in an accident and need a personal injury attorney. And then sure enough, less than a mile from my house, I was blindsided. I was injured. My world was turned completely upside down. I called DJC Law, and their team took care of everything. I got the best result possible. Don't just take my word for it. They have over 1,000 five-star reviews. So if you're injured, call 512-888-9999 and get your justice at teamjustice.com.